Sudden death of a NASCAR legend, Kyle Busch, rocking the racing community as new details emerging of a 911 call made the day before his death.
The world of motorsports was shaken by a series of events that befell Kyle Busch, the driver dubbed the greatest villain in NASCAR history.
Tonight he earns his first Cup title. Kyle Busch, the 2015 NASCAR Sprint Cup champion.
The flamboyant man wearing the legendary number 18 was always at the center of fierce confrontations, international legal battles, and possessed a mysterious fortune worth tens of millions of dollars. Behind the glitz and glamour of his championship trophies and lavish lifestyle lay emergency calls, family medical issues, and devastating business decisions. What truly happened to the health career and financial empire of this speed icon during those fateful turns? Pressure and life-threatening risks were inseparable companions throughout Kyle Busch's peak career. The clearest evidence of this fragile boundary was the horrific accident at Daytona in 2015, an event that shook the entire motorsports world. His car lost control at speeds up to 90 miles per hour, crashing head-on into an unprotected concrete wall.
Did anybody hit you there, Cal?
A horrific crash for Kyle Busch, who slid through the infield grass.
The impact was so severe that the front of the car was completely deformed, and it took paramedics a considerable amount of time to extricate him from the wreckage. Subsequent medical records revealed extremely serious injuries, including an open fracture of the right leg and a fracture of the left foot. But grim predictions from experts about his potential retirement, Kyle Busch underwent a grueling series of surgeries and treatments to recover remarkably quickly. He returned to the racetrack just a few months later and created one of the greatest comeback stories in NASCAR history by winning the overall championship that season. Besides the grueling physical challenges, the operational structure of his career also faced significant turning points, involving dissolution and profound restructuring. At the end of 2022, a 15-year era between Kyle Busch and Joe Gibbs, racing officially came to an end when core sponsor M&M's decided to completely withdraw from the series. The loss of this massive financial resource directly forced him to leave his familiar home and seek a new home. Furthermore, the financial and managerial pressure continued to weigh heavily on him, leading to a bitter decision at the end of 2023. He was forced to sell his entire racing workshop equipment and assets of Kyle Busch Motorsports, a brainchild he founded and operated in the truck series, to rival Spire Motorsports, in order to restructure his personal resources. This change in racing environment led him to join Richard Childress Racing to take over car number 8. But this was also when the harsh reality began to emerge. The following years saw a significant decline in his performance, as he consistently struggled at the back of the pack due to vehicle instability and the increasing pressures of age. This disappointing run of races directly shattered his unprecedented 19-year streak of at least one win per season in the Cup Series. As of the first half of 2026, his performance showed no signs of improvement, consistently finishing in mid-table positions, reflecting the harsh reality of the limitations a legend faces on the other side of their career. But his declining form, his demanding 2026 racing schedule, continued uninterrupted, starting with the race at Watkins Glen, and followed by an appearance at Dover, where he attempted to rediscover his winning form in the Truck Series. Nevertheless, signs of instability in his physical condition began to appear frequently soon after, with the media reporting on the sudden decline in the driver's fitness. The dramatic events culminated on May 20th and 21st, 2026, beginning with an intensive training session at the Chevrolet Simulator in Concord, North Carolina. Kyle Busch suddenly collapsed and lost consciousness in the simulator's driver's seat after experiencing a prolonged coughing fit. A recording of the 911 emergency call later released showed the panicked onlookers informing paramedics that the driver was suffering from severe respiratory failure and coughing up blood. He was rushed to Charlotte Regional Hospital in critical condition, and just 1 day later, the Busch family issued a heartbreaking official statement announcing his death. The medical cause of death was determined to be severe pneumonia that rapidly progressed to sepsis, causing multiple organ failure and claiming the life of the champion at the age of 41. Recalling the tragic events and the harsh reality his colleague had just experienced, racer Denny Hamlin shared in a news report. It was a huge shock to all of us. No one could believe that someone as resilient as him could pass away so quickly. The shocking end of an iconic figure forced the public to revisit his past. Before facing the inevitable cycle of life-aging illness and the low points at the end of his career, this man had enjoyed a golden age filled with glorious achievements and fiery confrontations that dominated the media. It was these initial steps of the dynasty, bearing the number 18, that shaped an unmistakable personality on the high-speed tracks. The Kingdom of Arena. Joining Joe Gibbs, racing in 2008 officially opened a new explosive chapter, shaping the most powerful sporting identity in Kyle Busch's career. Taking over the iconic Toyota with the number 18, he not only gained access to a perfect technical springboard, but also single-handedly created the legendary nickname Rowdy. This nickname quickly became a brand associated with his aggressive, extreme driving style and an uncompromising racing philosophy on the track. His straightforward nature, combined with his burning desire to win at all costs, created a dominant polarizing force, dividing fans into two distinct camps of love and hate throughout each race. This reckless ego has repeatedly thrust the number 18 driver into the center of media crises and heated confrontations beyond control. The league's disciplinary record notes one of the biggest stains on his record, which occurred at Texas Motor Speedway in 2011 during a Truck Series race. Due to previous provocative collisions, Kyle Busch deliberately drove his car into the rear of his rival Ron Hornaday Jr. under yellow flag warning conditions, forcing the latter's vehicle to crash into the guardrail. This dangerous act of retaliation immediately led NASCAR to issue a historic disciplinary decision, banning him from all racing activities that weekend, including the prestigious Cup Series that followed. The harsh penalties did not temper the hot-tempered Nevada driver, and direct altercations continued to erupt as an inevitable part of the tense atmosphere surrounding him. The peak of personal tension reached its climax at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in 2017 after a tense collision in the final laps. As soon as the car stopped at the pit lane, Kyle Busch single-handedly went straight to the opposing team's area and engaged in a hand-to-hand fight with driver Joey Logano. The chaotic brawl between members of both teams unfolded live on television, requiring security to intervene and leaving images of his bloodied face in front of international reporters. Nevertheless, it was this toughness and fearlessness in the face of any force that forged one of the greatest champions American motorsports has ever produced. Putting aside the controversies surrounding his integrity, Kyle Busch consistently proved his supreme value by winning the NASCAR Cup Series National Championships in 2015 and 2019 through overwhelming tactical performances. His destructive power was embodied in an unprecedented record of over 200 victories across all three major and minor categories of the national NASCAR system. His continuously broken scoring records and numerous prestigious trophies added to the trophy room transformed his name into a towering icon, a true terror to any competitor at the starting line. The continuous accumulation of championship titles, coupled with the immense media attention generated by controversies, inadvertently turned car number 18 into a commercially powerful machine with tremendous appeal to major corporations. The cash flow from prize money and lucrative sponsorship deals began pouring in, laying the first bricks for a personal financial empire that extended far beyond the confines of racing. The dazzling successes under the racetrack lights began to shift this man's life into a world of luxury and elite privilege. The commercial empire. The accumulation from his years of top-level competition quickly transformed into a solid financial foundation, bringing Kyle Busch's total personal wealth to an estimated $80 million. This enormous income was firmly established on top-tier salary caps, reaching approximately $16.9 million per year during his peak performance. Along with a fixed salary from the racing teams comes a continuous stream of additional profits from prize money sharing after each victory, as well as a series of long-term commercial contracts. Major brands such as Lucas Oil, the Cheddar's restaurant chain, Monster Energy, and battery manufacturer Interstate Batteries have continuously poured millions of dollars into exploiting the image of this racer with a massive fan base. Not content with being a purely salaried athlete, this man with a fierce ego proactively realized his commercial vision by building independent business entities. The decision to establish the Kyle Busch Motorsports Racing Team marked a strategic move as he personally operated and managed a system from personnel to technology. Under his direct leadership, this entity quickly grew and established itself as the most successful racing team in Truck Series history in terms of the number of wins achieved. Alongside his career in the automotive industry, he ventured into the consumer market by launching the energy drink brand Rowdy Energy. Although the product experienced initial sales booms and widespread coverage across major retail chains, the harsh fluctuations in the beverage market subsequently forced him to decide to cease operations and close the brand to protect his capital. His economic prosperity shaped an extremely luxurious lifestyle, clearly reflected in his family's real estate holdings and personal vehicles. At the heart of this opulent lifestyle is a supermansion located on Lake Norman in North Carolina, a sprawling 15,000-square-foot property that initially cost around $7.5 million and later reached a valuation of over $13 million. This living space is fully equipped with the most luxurious amenities, from a custom-designed swimming pool and a private marina to secluded entertainment areas. To accommodate his demanding travel schedule and ensure the privacy of his family's trips, he also splurged on a private jet, in addition to a collection of the most expensive luxury sports cars on the market. The presence of his immense wealth and the privileges of a millionaire created a solid wall surrounding the champion's daily life. Nevertheless, wealth and fame were never an absolute shield against the unpredictable events arising from complex social relationships. Behind the closed doors of his luxurious villa and private flights, invisible pressures from real life began to build, ready to test his family's resilience, with crises entirely different from those encountered on the racetrack. Storms in the dark. Beneath the solid facade of wealth and fame, Kyle Busch's private life was constantly battling fierce medical and legal undercurrents. His marriage to Samantha Busch endured a long and challenging journey as they publicly embarked on a difficult battle against infertility. These medical secrets cost the family years of anxiety, with rigorous monitoring and arduous in vitro fertilization procedures. Repeated and painful miscarriages pushed the couple's resilience to its absolute limits before they happily welcomed the births of their two children, Brexton and Lennox. A deep understanding of the suffering of couples in similar situations motivated them to establish the Bundle of Joy charity, an organization dedicated to providing financial support to impoverished families to access advanced infertility treatments. Just as their family crises had temporarily subsided, unexpected international legal troubles arose, plunging the veteran racer into unforeseen and dangerous situations. In early 2023, during a family vacation in Cancun, Mexico, a serious incident occurred at international airport security. Security personnel discovered a .380 caliber handgun and a full magazine inside Kyle Busch's personal bag. This baggage check error immediately triggered rigorous criminal proceedings from the authorities, leading to an emergency arrest. The incident quickly escalated into a media sensation when a Mexican court sentenced the racer in absentia to 3.5 years in prison, forcing his lawyers to make significant diplomatic efforts, and settled the matter through large fines in exchange for his freedom. Before the pressure from international legal proceedings could subside, the Busch family faced another major shock directly related to their financial security. A subsequent investigation revealed that the couple were involved in a highly sophisticated investment fraud scheme disguised as fraudulent life insurance and asset management funds. The fraudsters exploited the reputation and trust of the number 18 racer to carry out illegal money transfers, freezing his personal funds and causing direct losses of millions of dollars. Constantly facing financial investigations and lengthy legal proceedings drained much of the champion's energy outside the racetrack. The successive setbacks, from medical and legal troubles to financial traps, left deep scars on his psyche and approach to life. The turbulent behind-the-scenes struggles not only tested the resilience of a family breadwinner, but also directly impacted his worldview regarding the finitude of human life. These near-dangerous experiences and losses in the shadows forged a tough spirit, preparing him for his first steps, both spontaneous and harsh, from a young age. Las Vegas origins. Kyle Busch's unwavering courage and defiance of adversity were firmly forged in Nevada, where he was born and raised amidst the glittering casino lights of Las Vegas in 1985. Kyle's childhood wasn't filled with ordinary entertainment. Instead, it unfolded in the greasy confines of his family's garage under the strict tutelage of his father, Tom Busch. The presence and early success of his older brother, Kurt Busch, a future champion, cast a large shadow and served as a powerful impetus, driving the younger brother into the world of speed with an extraordinary intensity. Early lessons in mechanics, understanding engine sounds, and steering control were systematically imparted, turning him into a true racer before he even reached adulthood. The serious investment from his family quickly transformed Kyle Busch into a speed prodigy in local junior races. His milestone of driving legends at age 13 marked the rise of a natural talent as he consistently dominated short circuits and achieved over 65 victories. His superior technical skills and mature competitive mindset caught the eye of scouts from professional racing teams, paving the way for him to enter national-level competitions while still a high school student. Nevertheless, this young talent's path to the professional world was immediately halted by a landmark legal incident at the Fontana racetrack in 2001. While preparing to enter the cockpit for the Truck Series, 16-year-old Kyle Busch was escorted off the track by NASCAR officials just before the race began. This stemmed from the strict regulations of the Tobacco Treaty Act, which the league's main sponsor at the time, Marlboro, had to comply with. The act prohibited anyone under 18 from areas displaying tobacco advertisements. This media-shocking expulsion caused a major controversy, forcing NASCAR to undertake a comprehensive overhaul of its regulations and officially raise the minimum driver age to 18 in subsequent seasons. Overcoming legal hurdles as soon as he reached the age of mandatory racing, the Las Vegas-born driver immediately proved that the experts' expectations were entirely justified with an official contract with Hendrick Motorsports. His ambition to prove himself was materialized into a free-flowing, calculated driving style, quickly earning him crucial points in the prestigious Cup Series. The peak of his success came in the 2005 season when he brilliantly set a record as the youngest driver in history to secure pole position in a Cup Series race. This landmark achievement not only dispelled doubts about his experience, but also officially signaled the emergence of a new force, laying the first bricks for a legendary journey spanning decades across American racetracks. The entirety of his background, the strictness of his family, and the early setbacks at Fontana forged the unique worldview behind the wheel of this champion. The indelible legacy of a rebellious teenager who aggressively forced a massive overhaul of the NASCAR regulations remains a deeply permanent fixture of his narrative whenever the public discusses his career. Those early tumultuous building blocks in Las Vegas and Fontana provided the rugged, unyielding foundation required to construct a comprehensive story about the turbulent existence of a genuine racing icon. The sport of stock car racing had never encountered an individual so entirely unbothered by criticism, so utterly focused on victory, and so uniquely capable of transforming institutional resistance into absolute personal triumph. Every single track conflict, strategic business move, and heavy personal trial that defined his later years can be traced directly back to that fierce adolescent determination. He proved to the entire sporting world that a driver could completely rewrite the established playbook, challenge the executive authority of the sanctioning body, and still emerge as an undeniable champion. The journey from a 16-year-old boy who changed NASCAR rules to a tough legend experiencing both the ultimate glory and the harsh realities of fate has officially come to an end. Kyle Busch's story is not only written with speed, but also with an iron will in the face of life's fateful turns. If you're impressed by the courage and legacy of this iconic number 8, please support the video by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss the next in-depth sports profiles. Don't forget to leave a comment below about which moment or race of Kyle Busch you remember most. Thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you again on future speed adventures.